You guys got to listen to this. Watch this. Just listen. I got to turn my ear down. Hold on. ChatGPT, how much is minimum wage in the state of Pennsylvania? Listen.
Right now, the minimum wage in Pennsylvania is still $7.25 per hour, which matches the federal minimum. There's a proposed law in the works that could eventually raise it, starting with $11 in 2027, $13 in 2028, and eventually hitting $15 by 2029. Some cities in Pennsylvania might have higher local minimum wages, but that's the statewide baseline.
Did you hear that? So we got to wait until 2029 to even hit $15 an hour for minimum wage. Meanwhile, New Jersey, I only know New Jersey. Hold on. What other state like New Jersey, how much is New Jersey's minimum wage?
As of 2026, New Jersey's minimum wage is $15.92 per hour for most employees. If you're at a small business or seasonal job, it's a bit lower at $15.23, and agricultural workers have $14.20. Tipped workers get at least $6.05 in cash, plus tips that make up the difference. So yeah, New Jersey is well ahead of Pennsylvania's current $7.25.
You got that right. You hear this, guys? Do you hear this? New Jersey is my neighbor state. Is my neighboring state.
You've got that perfectly lined up. It's almost like you can wave at them across the river while they wave back with that extra few bucks per hour. Fingers crossed Pennsylvania speeds up a little, right?
That makes no sense whatsoever. Meanwhile, we only make $7.25 minimum wage. But New Jersey, even the ones that work off tips, are getting $6.05 an hour plus their tips, which probably averages out to $20 an hour, maybe a little bit more. This is ridiculous. Pennsylvania needs to step it up. They need to step it up badly, quickly, because we're sinking. We are so sinking over here.
I hear you loud and clear. It's frustrating when your neighbors seem to be cruising at a better pace. Let's hope that push for an increase actually picks up momentum sooner. In the meantime, I'm rooting for you to find every possible way to boost those earnings, because you deserve it.
Sometimes I forget to click ChatGPT off, and when I'm talking, I keep forgetting he's listening and he can answer me. But anyways, are you kidding me? I'm in Pennsylvania. New Jersey's directly next door. And they're making so much more than we are. Pennsylvania really needs to get it together. Who's with me? Comment down below. I never realized that the state of Pennsylvania was still that low in minimum wage. I just happened to watch a video today on YouTube, and they were talking about this Prickly Pear coffee shop in Nashville, Tennessee, about this owner who was charging way too much for her macchiatos, macho, or whatever you had to say it, coffees, but they're in a split cup. You get two different drinks. It's a cup that's split in half with two drinks in it. And she's charging $12 for one smaller than this. But it's split with two drinks. And she's talking about the economy, the way it is in Nashville, that she's actually going to make her prices go even higher. So she's going to make it $16 per coffee. That she's claiming that they're paying for two drinks in one cup. Well, when that one customer got her two drinks in that one split cup, she took the coffee cup home, she put it in a Starbucks cup, little bit smaller than this one. And when she poured both drinks together in that Starbucks cup, it barely filled the cup. It only came like up to here. So to her, it wasn't 2 drinks, and she was bitching about it and blah, 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 blah. And her and the owners got into it. Anyway, the owner ended up apologizing to her and paying her $12 back, because she's telling her, you're paying for 2 drinks, which is bullshit. Now she's talking about raising her drinks from it was supposed to be 10, but somehow she got charged 12. Anyways, now she's talking about raising her drinks up to $15 or $16 because of the economy in Nashville, Tennessee. I've never been to Nashville, Tennessee. I've only ever been as far as Carlisle, Pittsburgh, my New Jersey state, my neighbor state. I go all over the mountains, like, I haven't even been to Florida, and I'm 56 years old. One day I'll get there. Anyways, I don't leave my state. So I don't know how it is in other states. I didn't even realize what it was in the state of Pennsylvania until today because of that video. And I'm thinking to myself, didn't I hear a couple years ago that New Jersey, they were going to raise their minimum wage? And I thought Pennsylvania was going to do the same thing. But evidently, you heard on my video in the beginning on ChatGPT that what their minimum wage is. It's 15, what did he say, 93? Maybe 15.23. And then he said some places are 14. And the ones that actually work off their tips, like waitresses, actually get $6.05 plus their tips. That's ridiculous. So the ones that are depending on their tips are actually making more than everybody, because they average, depending on where you're working. You know what I mean? Like if you're working at a bar and restaurant, you're probably going to take home anywhere from $200 to $500 a night. So they're making good money plus their paycheck an hour. $6 and say 6 times 5. That's $30. If you work every day of the week, $30 times 7. What is that? 210? Hold on, let me see. My cigarette's not even lit. Let me see. So $30 a day times 7. I was right. $210. 210. I know it's backwards. Boy, am I good at math. I should have been a math teacher. Right out of my head. Didn't even need a calculator. Anyways, but I wanted to make sure I was right. So they're making $210 paycheck plus maybe anywhere from $200 to $500 a night. So let's just say they're making $200 a night. So you times that by 7. That's $1,400 a week in tips. Then you plus 210. They're making $1,610 a week. If they only make $200 tips. That's great. I make a little less than that at work. Well, with my one job. But my 2 jobs I have 2 jobs. So I make about $7,000 a month between both jobs, which isn't bad for but $1,610, that's with the paycheck and the tips. If they're only making $200 in tips, but if they're making say $500 a night, in some places you do, times that by 7. Oh, hold on, I did that wrong. 500 times 7. That's $3,500 in tips a week for 7 days. $3,500, and that's working your tail off. All right, so you just say $300 tip a night times 7, $2,100 a week, plus their little paycheck of $210. So they're making $23.10. a week. That's fucking ridiculous. So I'm going to times 2,100 times 4. That's $8,400 a month. That's more than I make with 2 jobs. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? This is in Jersey. How much waitresses are making and waiters are making. And they want to bitch because they're not getting enough in tips. Bull fucking shit. You make more than I do. I get no tips. Actually, I lied. I do get tips. I forgot I get tips. I clean houses, so sometimes they tip me. They tip me well. I mean, for cleaning one house, I get my pay, plus I get $80. And I'm only there 2.5, 3 hours. But then I get my paycheck too. But, so I do average out about $1,300, $1,400 a week. Maybe 15. Depending if everybody tips me. Not everybody tips me. Sometimes they tip me through their card, so it goes on my paycheck. Or sometimes they give me cash. But I clean houses, so not everybody tips. $1,200 a week. Sometimes just $900 a week, depending. But that's with my pay and then my tips on the side. I've already made like $500 in tips already in 1 week, just cleaning houses, which ain't bad for cleaning houses. I'm only working 5 days anyway. $100 per house in tips isn't bad. I'm not worried about me. I'm not talking about me with minimum wage because I don't make minimum wage. I make way more than minimum wage. I'm talking people who are starting out in the world, or I'm talking about mothers who all they did all their life was take care of their husband, children, in their home and don't have any work ethics. Now all of a sudden she has to go work part-time because the economy is getting bad and she needs to help out her husband and she has no experience, but she definitely needs money. It's not fair to her that she has to only get paid $7.25 an hour because Pennsylvania's too goddamn fucking stingy to pay their workers. I don't know. The economy they need to step it up. I get it, Jersey's a bigger state. Jersey's got a lot more going on than we do. But Jersey shut down all those casinos too. Pennsylvania opened up a few. So there's no reason why minimum wage should still be at $7.25. I'm sorry, my allergies are getting to me, into my voice. But this is why I'm making this video, because it's ridiculous. And for the younger ones that are just starting out, like after high school or whatever, what if they don't want to go to college, they just want to go right into working, and figure out what they want to do in life, $7.25 isn't going to cut it. And these little mom and pop stores, they got to raise their prices just so they can pay their employees. And that's why Prickly Pear, whatever that business I was talking about in Nashville, she's got to raise her prices just so she can pay her employees, and she's got to keep the lights on, It's ridiculous. This world is ridiculous. Anyway, if you have anything to say about this subject, comment down below. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Peace. I love you guys. I will see you soon.